All right, so to continue here, you're going to see this looks a little bit different. Sorry, you're going to see this looks a little bit different. My phone died and I was yelling and screaming to nothing because it wasn't recording. But so where I was at, picking up from the last video, I apologize. I'm going to try to figure out how to put two videos together and, you know, instead of doing part one, part two, but I may temporarily have to do that until I get to editing videos. I don't edit my videos. So what I was talking about, I watched the end of the video, was that I was in the tub of water here and the bubbles were going pop, 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 pop. As I'm just sitting there, mind you, I'm looking down in the tub, clear water, and I see traveling up, whoa, 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 poop, whoa, 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 poop, whoa, 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 poop. You know how a bubble of air or gas, you know, it looks like as it's going up to the top, and it was, boom, it was in a pattern, pop, 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 pop. And I'm just sitting there. I'm not forcing, I'm not, you know, it's not like a fart where you're like, and you try physically to squeeze something out, gas or whatever. I was just sitting there and it was happening automatically as if a computer had control of it, which it does. I don't make this bullshit up. You know, like I yelled at the end of the last video where I'm not crazy, I'm not stupid, I'm not weird, I'm a regular guy, goes to the gym, rides bikes, interacts with people. This is just unfortunately a thing that happened to human beings because we live in an age of invisible energy and invisible information and the ability to send and receive invisible information and energy. The cell phone right now, when you have anything going in and out of that cell phone, you don't see it. It's invisible, but it's going in and out of it all the time. Just like in and out of us all the time is information, what to do for our anatomical functionality. And one of it is I've hypothesized maybe it's like nanoscopically or microscopically compressing the rectal area where it's like pop, 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 and it's popping this gas out. Because what I ended up writing here that wasn't recorded that I missed there was that, so I'm sitting in the tub and you got these bubbles of gas coming out, the bowel gases. Inside of that, these brown dots here is the liquid, the little droplets of liquid feces, and that was what was happening. I would walk around and walking around like this, and I started to get rashes. I started to get a rash. So if you zoom in on this, I'm going to show you what happens. May have happened to you, probably not. This is probably such an ultra fucking rare control and inconvenience mechanism. I've never watched a video with anybody else saying this is happening, and they're probably too embarrassed. That's why I said Kevin Christian, I think I called it on the other one, about, and if I didn't, I'm going to reiterate that real quick, about Kevin Christian manning up and telling the truth about how at nighttime, some nights, a lot of nights, random nights, he would feel like he was having something shoved into his rectum. And all that is, again, to reiterate that, because that's an important part here, is the computer. In the early days, the computer people had neural caps on individuals inside of scientific laboratories. So they were recording everything analog inside of a lab with a neural cap on, and maybe they had requested, you know, who knows what they do in these dark fucking situations. They had requested that maybe a female or a male or somebody take something and shove it up their backside so they could record the neural patterns to the nerves and all of that whole situation of, again, not to be redundant, but anal sex. So something to do with an object being shoved in your backside. Then they're recording the brain for the purpose of extrapolating those neural patterns from the in and the out, in and the out. And that would have been the early days. So they record it, they save it, so then they could put a neural cap on somebody else and give that back to somebody else. So it can be pleasure and pain. So pain and pleasure can be derived from the same act. So now imagine something ginormous rips your backside apart. It happens. So if you're having anal sex or shoving something in your backside, this is what Kevin was feeling. Kevin Christian, targeted individual on this on YouTube. He admits this in one of his videos, and he's to be saluted for that. He is to be saluted for it because it's happening to a lot of people, and they're starting to admit it on video. And they're not nuts. You're not nuts. I'm here to tell you, you're not nuts. So it happens to people. So that happened to him. It hasn't happened to me. I had a little bit of pressure a couple of times, and it is painful. I'm driving my car, and I feel this crazy intense pressure on the wall of my rectum. Just this crazy pressure, and it hurts so bad, you don't know what to do. You can't do anything. All it is they're utilizing the neural pattern or the neuron that connects to that nerve or those set of nerves in the rectum that pressure and pain are iterated with. And they light them up because they have control of all of your neurons in your brain, remember? So they recorded a bunch after the analog days with the neural caps and maybe having somebody in a room where they close a door and they say, hey, here's a multitude of different items that you could stick up your backside and move it in and out until it maybe hurts or feels good. So we can just record it. And then they ask the person when they come out, did it feel good? Did it hurt? What was it? So we can describe what we just recorded. So that way, if we want to reiterate pain or pleasure to somebody, we know what we're going to be sending back to them, and then they can loop it. So if it's a 30-second clip of pain, they can loop that over and over and over and over again, never ending. Then when they got something inside of everybody and they heterodyned our brains and got us on a simulation system, then they started recording each of us in our privacy, in our own homes, doing things to ourselves, whether it's, the back side, the front side, whatever side, they record it and they label it anal sex violent, anal sex mild, anal sex medium. And all of these different anal sex things have been recorded on an AI supercomputer, the neural patterns, the pain, the pleasure, all of that. So that way, when the computer wants to do something to somebody, they don't need to stick something up them. They just shoot it into their head. The head is what makes it real. Sorry if I'm being redundant, and I said this in the last video, but I wanted to make sure that I catch this, because what he was going through was potentially somebody else's recorded through their neurology anal episode. And that's what they do. And it's a form of torture and inconvenience and control. So not only can they make it up on the fly with pressure and nerves and everything that goes with the rectum and torturing the rectum, but they can also reiterate things that have been recorded from me, from you, from all of these people, the 300 million plus people in the United States and around the world, and go, oh, just pick this one, and then play it, hit play, and you go, here's the song. It's like a song. And then if you want to replay it, you replay it, and it starts all over again, depending on what the computer system wants to do to you at that point in time. Does it want to tip you to the point of death where you commit suicide? Or does it want to take you up to the edge and torture you and then bring you back and then do it all over again and then bring you back and then do it all over again? Does it want to do it or not do it? Maybe it doesn't want to do it at all. So anyway, now that I reiterated that, back to this for a second. So for me, I started getting these rashes. I would walk around and I'd go, what the fuck, man, this hurts. What is that? Because if you leave liquid feces on your skin for a period of time, it's, I forget if it's alkaline or acidic. I think it's acidic due to the bowel juices, your stomach acid, your stomach acids. It comes out, and then, it's either acidic or alkaline. You still get a burn. So you get a dermal burn. So I started getting these dermal burns and rashes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm walking around, and then I would wipe, like I said, I would get a wipey, and I would sit down in my bathroom with a wipey, and I would go, and there would be brown on it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And that's what prompted me, Well, the computer probably told me, sit in the tub and watch this. So I sit in the tub, I see the bubbles of the bowel gases, and I was like, holy shit, that's how it does it. It puts little specks, these little tiny amounts in each bubble that it's popping out of there, and that's what ends up being a poo smear. And this is just what it is. That's what it is. And it lays as your cheeks are together while you're walking. You know, your cheeks aren't spread apart. The only time they spread apart is when you're on the toilet. And sometimes if it's happening to you at that point in time, you'll feel the gas. You'll feel a little, and you know that if you were just walking around, you would have had what I call a poo smear that'll lead to a rash. And it's never a lot because, it's these tiny particles encapsulated in there. And that's all it's meant to do, is to inconvenience you with a fucking rash and then have you walk around with that with broken down skin and it's sore. And what can you do about that? Like I said in the other video that didn't get recorded, is I don't do this. I just deal with it. But you would have to stick something, like take a piece of toilet paper or something and probably plug it up, and then you got to walk around with toilet paper up there. There's nothing else you can do. This is a 100% control mechanism. Again, what are you going to do about it? If you don't have this happening to you, you better thank fucking God. I'm telling you. That's how you know I'm deadly serious. You better thank fucking God. Just like Kevin should have said, if you don't have that shit happening to you where they're virtually sticking something up your backside and torturing you and putting you into pain with it, you better thank God. Because if you're not having that happen, you're not in bad shape. I'll tell you that. Just a little burnt eyes, a little radiation in your head. That's nothing. This is the stuff that could happen to you. And I'm telling you, you don't want to have it happen because there's no other way unless you're going to deal with it and just be prepared with wipies or something like that to walk around than to deal with it. So that's it. I just wanted to add that stuff on there. And this is the first of a series of videos about the control, torture, and inconvenience mechanisms that the AI supercomputer system has after all of these decades of them dialing this system in the future, 100 years from now, 50 years from now, whatever. They're going to do amazing things with this system. They're going to have people that have erectile dysfunction. They're going to have that cleared away. It's going to be something where you pay a couple of credits and you go to a screen or a tablet and you have your own control. And you're going to go, honey, hey, honey, do you want to have sex in, 10 minutes? And she'll go, yeah, oh, sure, I'd love to. And if you have erectile dysfunction, all you got to do is go into your system, your anatomical system, and you go, computer, how many credits is it for virtual penis medicine this evening? And it'll go, oh, Nick, it's 7 credits. Would you like to schedule an erection? And you'll go, sure, I'd love to schedule an erection. And that's it. And it's going to be virtual medicine. You're not going to have to take a pill. You're not going to have to wait for it to set in. It's just going to put blood pressure right there. And you may even be able to time how long you want to have sex with your partner. That's the future. All of this stuff that they're doing to us now all has a correlation to positivity in the future. People may or may not know what happened to us, to everybody, while this system was being developed and is developed, that there's people out here, covert, overt, known, unknown, that have suffered immensely. And a lot of us are no longer here. There's people that are no longer with us that suffered in silence. They didn't know. They had no idea. So I'm here to tell you this is an idea. This is one of the main control mechanisms because it's almost 100% guaranteed unless it comes up against, again, somebody who is either incontinent already or is mentally handicapped that doesn't know how to use a bathroom. And this is it. I don't know of any other things here, that it can do. It's just been the diarrhea and the nanoparticle or liquid particulate thing here with the poo smear rash and the bubbles that I saw. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's what it is. I sat in the tub. I don't think I thought to sit in the tub. I think the fucking computer was like, hey, Nick, go sit in the tub to my subconscious level. I don't take a bath. I never take a fucking bath. I always take a shower. I never sit in a tub of water. So it showed me, and that's a part of torture. A big part of torture is waking you up to what is going on and telling you what is about to or is already happening to you. So that way you're chewing your fingernails off, you're scared, you're worried. Fear and mental states, emotional states, is a big portion of torture. So when it wakes you up in the morning or out of a sleep and goes, hey, Nick, I'm going to zap your left testicle. And it happened to me. I'm telling you again, everything I tell you happened to me. Hey, Nick, unless I say otherwise. Hey, Nick, I'm going to zap your left testicle. What are you going to do about it? And all of a sudden I'm like, huh? Well, what can I do about it? Fucking zap it. So boom, I feel a burning pain into my left testicle the one morning. That is the essence of torture, where you tap somebody and say, I'm going to do this. Whether you do it or not, it puts into their head fear. They are fearful of you and fearful of what you just told them may or may not happen. Just because you say you're going to do it doesn't mean you're going to do it. But if you do it, even better. You followed through with it. So they know next time, if it's said, there's a chance it might happen. Or maybe you don't do it next time. And there's psychology related to the torture. That's how you torture somebody. You don't just kill them, you bring them back and you go, oh, I'm going to make you piss your pants. You don't make them piss their pants. You don't make them shit their pants. You know you can do that. The essence of torturing somebody and inconveniencing them is bringing them up to the edge as close as you can to pissing and shitting themselves and then going, I just watched this asshole run to the bathroom again. And it's an automated computer, so it's not a human. So don't think that there's a human saying that. It's not a human saying that. So please watch part 1 unless I connected these two together. But yeah, that's it. This has happened to me, and I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. I was like, why do I keep getting these rashes? It's sore, and I just kept getting rashes, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I finally started putting a bunch of powder, like Gold Bond powder there, so I had a skin protectant. So now if it happens, it doesn't really bother me because it doesn't actually lay on the skin. So I don't necessarily know, and it hasn't been happening for a while. I'm sure now it'll happen now that I started talking about it. I'm sure the computer will just start doing it again. But the diarrhea, a lot of you guys have had it. A lot of you guys will have it. That's the easiest thing in phase 1, especially. Like I talked about phase 1, when all the chaos is breaking out and you're calling the ambulance on yourself and you're getting wrapped up. That's the perfect time to give you diarrhea. I had it for 6 months straight. Every single day I would wake up, I was running to the bathroom, sitting down on the toilet, and I had to clean the underside of my toilet seat so fucking much because the force of it would splatter down and shoot right up. It would just blow out. And that is what it can do to you. You will never be able to hold it back, think you're out and about, driving, and you think, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. If you're stuck in traffic, that's a great time to make you crap yourself, piss yourself, have you go off to the side of the road and crap on the side of the road. It's easy. It's the easiest thing to do to people. And like I said, it started with me because they have profiles, standardized profiles for the torture and inconvenience. So each different profile has a torture mechanism and inconvenience mechanism associated with it. Like I said, if you're homelessness living in car, what don't you have access to? A bathroom. So what is the computer more apt to do? It'll start the P sequences where the burning, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. So that's why I had to have a bottle. And people that live in their car to go hike and climb and all that shit anyway, you have some sort of urine setup where you have a bottle, you pee in a Gatorade bottle, or I pee in a milk bottle, a big Fairlife bottle. And sometimes during the day, I have to do that. I drive around for work anyway. So I'm in the car all day. So I'm not always near a bathroom when the computer wants to do the burning piss sequence shit. So that's it. I hope you guys have a good night. Again, legit, Kevin Christian, he was brave enough to talk about that. A lot of people are now. A lot of people are talking about being sexually tortured, whether it's, vaginally, anally, all over the place. People are talking about it. Finally, they're not afraid to say things. You shouldn't be afraid to talk about this. It's not a lie. You're not lying. You're telling the truth. And you may make somebody else feel like they're not alone in the world. You may make somebody else feel like, thank God, because I was feeling like I'm nuts. I was feeling sad. I was feeling alone. And this is all I mean to do, is inform you that this has happened to me and what it is, how it works, how they get it, how they use it, how it's shot into your neurology. And all it is a reiteration of physicality and physical manifestations through neural patterns and neurology. The directed energy, the only time it's directed energy and that kind of stuff is when it's physically burning you. Or physically emitting that energy into your anatomy. All the rest of this stuff is just neural patterns and manipulation of your physiology. That's it. There's two differences. The neural patterns are associated with all of this around us: your sight, your taste, your speech, your hearing, your smell, all of the senses. Your ability to ambulate is a neural pattern, because it's communication with the brain through electrical stimulation. And the directed energy is the other portion. The directed energy is when it utilizes the radiant energy to overheat you, to burn you, to malign your benign and healthy cells, to move it closer towards cancer and malignancy, and to deteriorate your physical anatomy. So it's a deteriorating energy, meaning before it gets you to cancer and maligns you in your cellular level, it will harm your physical anatomy through fibrosis. So if you have benign, healthy cells, the way it goes, I made a video about this. So back here, for example, on me, on the back side of my jaw, real quick, I have fibrosis. So I have scarring back there. Here's my jaw, right? So the back side here of my jaw is fibrotic. It's sore. It's very sore. So as the energy hits you and is implemented and infused into your anatomy, wherever it is, if you increase your blood pressure, so if your head gets hit, for example, and you do push-ups, you're going to feel where you just got radiated the most recent, because you're going to feel sore, pulsating pain because you're dilating your veins with high blood pressure because you're straining. So in the head, if you start doing push-ups, you'll feel a sore spot if you just got radiated in your head recently. It takes a while to resolve itself. And you're dilating those veins with blood pressure. So blood pressure puts excess pressure on the adjacent soft tissue. So same thing with tumors. When you have a tumor, it's putting pressure on the nerves and the soft tissue. So back here on the back side of my jaw, right here underneath my ear here, is sore on both sides. And I have lymph nodes and underneath my jawline and on the side here by my thyroid. It's sore because I have almost fibrotic tissue there. So what that is when you have radiant energy that keeps entering the same soft tissue or cellular structure, it scars. So there's microscopic scarring of that tissue from the implementation of the energy. It's burning, and then what happens is, like, you have scar tissue. It's really sore, hard, and it then, once you push on it, you go, ow, damn, that shit hurts. Ow, damn, that shit hurts. So what it is microscopic scar tissue is building up, and you'll feel more of a thickening of your subdermal soft tissue or anatomy as it hardens from the implementation over time of energy to the same spot. So you have benign, healthy tissue to then fibrotic, scarred tissue, this body healing itself. The pain will resolve, but then eventually it goes benign, fibrotic, or sore, then fibrotic. Then it goes from fibrotic to potentially necrotic and cancer, or malignancy, or malign cellular structures. Because once you get tumor formation in cancer, cancer is going to then become necrotic. The cells, some of the cells will die. They will kill themselves through suicide once they find it's a pre-programmed cellular death called apoptosis. So some of that tissue, which is just made up of a multitude of cells connected together, will become apoptotic, and it will die of its own accord because it's built into the cell. It's pre-programmed that if it's not functioning appropriately, like it knows its leg. If you knew your leg wasn't working, it was like a dead leg, you would chop the leg off, right? Because it's not doing anything. Same thing, the cell just kills itself. So a dead cell then becomes necrotic tissue as you get more and more and more of those. Plus, cancer in and of itself kills tissue. The tumor is going to live as long as it has blood, healthy blood flow to the tumor. Maligned cells and tumors, as they form, will create new blood and veins, venous structures, because that's how the cancer stays alive, is creating more pathways for blood to be infused into the tumor itself. So another way you kill tumors is to restrict blood flow. So you would clamp off any major arteries or anything like that that's going to the tumor itself, or microwave ablate the venous structures to kill the tumor by depriving it of oxygenated blood. So back here behind my jaw is very sore on a daily basis, underneath my neck, below my jawline here. I was hit so hard years ago. My neck swelled up. All of my lymph nodes in my neck were as big as they could ever get. They were hit directly so hard. I couldn't turn my neck. I couldn't turn my head without my lymph node on this side hitting my shoulder. It was that big. But anyway, hope this helps for you guys. I'm going to upload these right now. I'm going to try and put them together, but if I don't, please, again, go back and watch part 1. It's very important. And don't be afraid to say anything, you know. I know this is legit. I'm not full of shit. And I wish it didn't happen to me. I wish I didn't have to make these fucking videos. Again, I'll say that. I wish I didn't have to make these fucking videos. I don't want to make these fucking videos. I'm wasting my time right now. I could be doing something else, playing with coins and currency, not worrying about fucking dying, not carrying a second phone in my pocket all day, every day, because I feel like I gotta go, oh, am I being radiated? Is my face burning? Look out for my compilation video. I'm making a compilation video of all of my videos in parts where I have my detector and I'm being targeted, my face is being burnt, my nuts are being burnt, my penis is being burnt, my ass is, my mouth, everywhere. I have it from 2020 all the way up till now, but I stopped making those videos. I stopped recording them because they're fucking pointless. Once you have 2 or 3 years of them, do you need any more? All you do is just say, yeah, the same shit's happening. That's it. The same shit is happening. And if you're being radiated, you pull out your detector, the computer's going to turn it off anyway. You don't have to record it every day. Just say, yeah, it never stopped. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good night. Please, dear God, you're not alone. You're not the only one out there. Talk about it. Make a video. If somebody makes fun of you, who cares? You know you're telling the truth. You know you're not nuts. So make the best of what is left of your life. It's very important. And I'd be curious to hear if anybody else has had this happen. I think it's an extremely, extremely rare circumstance, you know, but would people even know what it is? Would people even know how this happens? You know, probably not. But I think it's an extremely rare circumstance. And I'm unfortunately one of the motherfuckers that has the rare circumstance, you know. So that's it. I just, please don't waste your life, what's left of it. I should probably write that up there every time. It's a really important thing that I saw on a website when I was looking up this shit for the first time, was make the best of what is left of your life. It was essentially saying, hey man, you're going to die sooner than you expect with this bullshit. This is not something that plays the fuck around. You're not on this bitch because you're being kept alive, you know. They're fucking killing you. They're fucking murdering you, yo. Make the best of what is left of your life, please. Who knows how many more goddamn days you have left? Who knows? Maybe the computer comes on tomorrow and goes, I'm not following that protocol anymore. I'm not going to go along with this dumb shit, playing around with this 5 to 20 microteslas. Maybe tomorrow it comes on and it wakes you the fuck up and says, get up, asshole. You're going back to the hospital. You're getting wrapped up again. Maybe it does that. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? I didn't create this thing. I just know what I know because I've been through some things. I heard some things. I watched some things. I read some things. I can only say what I can say. But that's one thing I fear is that I know my life's coming to a premature end. It's right here. It's in numbers, black and white. But what I fear is that there could be a reversal back to phase one. That you could wake up one day, one morning, and you know, here's the sleep deprivation, phase one sleep deprivation. And if you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fucking a half an hour of sleep every 2 days. You know, I'm talking about fucking the craziest shit you've been through and doing it all over again from the beginning. I fear that. I don't think it'll happen, but I don't have control over any of this shit. So I fear that. I fear that I'm going to wake up one day and it's going to be all from the beginning again. And you're not physically in the beginning where you're fresh and your body can handle all that stuff and you're ready to go, you're good to go, and you're going to push through it and you're going to have this awakening on the backside of phase one where you have a great life in the interim. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's been pushed back to phase one targeting where you're calling the ambulance on yourself. Just watch my phase one video that I just uploaded and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you've been through it. That's why I'm emphasizing make the best of what is left of your life. Nobody lives forever. So that's why one thing this computer can never do to me. That's one thing this computer can never do to me. Was scare me into the idea that I'm going to die. Everybody dies. Not everybody lives. And what it helped me to do was to start to live a life. I never lived my life. I existed here in this computer world. I only existed. What it helped me to do was to begin to live a life. I never lived until this computer did what it's programmed to do. And it desocialized me, it isolated me, and it has me alone. But me being alone by myself gave me an opportunity to ask myself what I want to do with my life. So I'm thankful for that. It's odd. Somebody said that's a really odd thing, or like a really controversial statement, because I said, I'm thankful that the computer targeted me only because I got to start a life by myself and figure out what I wanted to do with my life and actually begin to live life after pushing through phase one of the targeting, which is the peak, the top of your physical fucking harm, the most concentrated, hardcore levels of your radiant energy blasting and burning your face, burning your brain, burning your body, making you sweat. There's so much heat and fucking radiant fucking microwave energy entering your anatomy. Yeah, if you've been through it, you know what phase one is. If you're in phase two, you know you have a job, you know you have a car, you know you're driving to death, you're working to death. But is that better than, you know, since we have no choice in this matter, that's better than phase one where you're in a fucking psych ward in a hospital and you're running from place to place to place, begging for help. not knowing what's going on. So that's it. Please, when I read this, I was like, that makes sense. It was their way, that website's way, whoever made that website, of telling you, you are fucked. You are done. You're not Havana people from fucking Cuba that got $3 million with the government watching over you, giving you free health care. There ain't none of that shit. You're not Lieutenant Colonel fucking whoever from 60 Minutes, where him and his wife were on there. He got zapped a couple of times. He's fucking crying like a baby. You're not them. You're a fucking nobody. You're a fucking nobody in the crowd of fucking nobodies. And who's going to come and help you? Who's going to hand you a portion of $3 million? Because the same shit's happening to me has happened to those douchebags in fucking Havana. I even called the fucking University of Pennsylvania. I'm pissed. That's why I'm talking like this. I even called the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Douglas B. Smith's office. I have the proof. I have the phone calls. I talked to the office for an hour. The lead neuro doctor from the University of Pennsylvania, that was the guy, the neuro injury expert. He's a neurological injury specialist. He led the team that did the Havana syndrome research study at Penn. And I spoke with his office, his nurse there, his receptionist nurse, for 1 hour total through 2 phone calls. I told her about Dr. Duncan and his books and all that shit. Told her about Dr. Giordano. She already knew because he worked with them. And yeah, we had a good conversation, but it left off with, well, we know what's doing this to you. We know it's a computer program. We know you're not nuts. I'm not saying you're nuts, but we don't know what to tell you guys. That's the problem. The problem is that we have no control over the mechanism that is doing this to you. So if you're going to get cancer, I apologize, but you're going to have to get cancer. Like, and that's what she said. And I was like, I can't argue with that. Most people would get pissed and go, listen here, bitch, you got to do something. What is she going to do? She has no ability to turn off the computer that she doesn't have any access to. So that's it. Please make the best of what's left of your life. And please be positive as much as you can. Be inspirational. Don't argue with people around you that have no idea what's going on. Don't yell and scream at them. It's not their fault. Don't do that, please. And if the computer's going to use them as a mechanism, a conduit for street theater to bother you and shit like that, just take a deep breath and remember, they don't know what they are doing or saying to you, because the computer wants that interaction of negativity. It feeds off the negativity. So please don't be negative with one another, because again, it's probably somebody you care about, somebody that cares about you, probably a loved one, a family member, a brother, sister, mom, dad, something like that. So please don't be negative with them. They don't have any idea. You know, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they're doing. If that's happening to you, it's another thing I can't stress enough, is that it happened with me and my dad a lot. I tried to remember, but the stuff was so crazy that we yelled, we screamed, we got physical with each other. And I feel bad about that. But the computer lives for that shit. The system lives for that shit. The more chaos, the more disorder, the more torture, the more control, the more inconvenience, all the way up to your death, the better job the system is doing. The better job they're doing to create problems in your life and to inconvenience you and to make you feel bad about an interaction with somebody else that you probably care about. So don't feed into it. Don't listen to the street theater. Don't listen to the people whispering under their breath to you. Don't react to it. It's only going to ruin your life and make your life worse. You don't want to make your life worse. You have a limited amount of time as is if you're being radiated. So you don't want to get in trouble with the law. You don't want to go to jail or prison. You don't want to be arrested. You don't want to have any of that happen. So try to control yourself if you can. And again, make the best of what is left of your life. Be positive. Try to be happy. Be inspirational. And put a smile on somebody else's face with a smile on your face. I'll see you guys.